Your tax advisor could be the most expensive free advice you ever take. We're talking about someone who could either quietly save you tens of thousands of dollars or silently bleed your finances dry while smiling across the desk. Every year, millions of Americans overpay their taxes, not because the law demands it, but because the person they trusted to navigate it simply didn't know enough, or worse, didn't care enough. The IRS collected over $400 billion in enforcement actions over the last decade, and a shocking portion of that came from people whose advisors missed deductions, filed incorrectly, or just played it too safe. Think of the tax code like a massive Byzantine city with back alleys, shortcuts, and secret passages only certain guides actually know. Your advisor is supposed to be the local who grew up there, not the tourist holding a decade-old map upside down. The first green flag is that they ask you more questions than you ask them. A great advisor is curious about your life, your business structure, your future plans, because the tax code rewards specificity, and a lazy advisor costs you in the places you never thought to look. The second sign they're worth their fee is that they talk about strategies before April, not just forms after March. If your advisor only calls you during tax season, congratulations, you hired a very expensive data entry service. On the flip side, a major red flag is any advisor who guarantees a refund before reviewing a single document. That's not confidence. That's either naivety or fraud. And both will eventually find their way to your mailbox in the form of an IRS notice. Here's a misconception we need to kill right now. A bigger refund does not mean a better advisor. A refund just means you gave the government an interest-free loan all year, and a truly skilled advisor would have redirected that money to work for you starting in January. History teaches us that the advisors who saved clients the most were never the flashiest ones in the room. They were the ones who read the boring updates, attended the dull continuing education seminars, and quietly understood that tax law changes every single year and yesterday's strategy can be today's audit trigger. Sign 7 is that they have real credentials, like a CPA, enrolled agent, or tax attorney, not just a tax professional certificate printed from a website in 2009. Credentials mean accountability, licensing boards, and someone who legally has to stay current because their career depends on it. Sign 8, they're comfortable saying, I don't know, but I'll find out, because the alternative is an advisor who confidently gives you the wrong answer and files it with the federal government. Overconfidence in this field isn't just annoying, it's quantifiably expensive. The practical lesson from every boom and bust in tax law, from the Reagan reforms of 1986 to the Trump cuts of 2017, is that the rules always shift, and the advisors who thrive are the ones who adapt, not the ones who assume this year looks like last year. Your strategy should be reviewed annually, the way a pilot checks the instrument panel before every single flight, not just when something feels wrong. Signs 9 and 10 are almost the opposite of each other, which is part of what makes this so maddening. Sign 9 is that they push back on you when you're wrong, and sign 10 is that they respect your risk tolerance and don't file aggressively beyond your comfort level. You want an advisor who is honest enough to argue with you and wise enough to know when to stop. The philosophy here isn't complicated, even if the tax code desperately wants you to believe otherwise. Discipline, consistency, and the right person in your corner compound quietly over decades in ways that dwarf any single year's refund check. You don't need the most expensive advisor in the city or the one with the fanciest downtown office. You need the one who treats your return like a puzzle worth solving, not a form worth rushing. And that distinction, over a lifetime, is worth more than most people ever calculate. Whatever your financial situation looks like right now, the best move is always to get the right team around you early. And if you're ready to take the next step in real estate investing, need home contracting work done right, or want to connect with trusted lenders, check out our links in the description below.